Thank you so much, Kevin. Yeah, what a significant day. And of course, it's really significant to us, the weather community, because the weather forecasting that day was quite possibly one of the most important forecasts in history. Yeah. Stormy conditions.
That's right. Stormy conditions, one of the largest battles of the Second World War, and went into, stop the Nazis in Germany.
Yeah, just a day. So, of course, we'll be commemorating that throughout the day as well. But in the meantime, the weather story.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Right. Options on tap. What about the weather, though? What about the traffic, right? We're going to get to your long-range forecast in just 1 second, and I'll tell you what kind of temperatures you can expect. And here's a hint. It's pretty good. Okay, Tom, how are the roads, though? Are they good?
So if that's your alternative route, well, you're going to find that delayed this morning. Kasia's got details on the long-range forecast.
Wow. One lane. That is my life story these days. All right. If they would just get the gardener fixed, everything would be smooth, wouldn't it, at this point? But it all needs to be done, and we have great conditions for working on the outside. We've got high pressure in place and temperatures right around seasonal all weekend long. Right, and of course you're looking at the traffic, but I'm looking at the sunshine in the background going, it's amazing out there. It's beautiful already, and it's going to be that kind of a weekend. I don't want to give it all away right away, but high pressure for the lower Great Lakes. You will notice there's a lot of low pressure centers, one to the north of us. That's not going to be affecting us, nor will this low to the south of us. So we're pretty lucky because others, as you can see, Montreal, the Ottawa Valley, will be. They'll be seeing some showers. Meanwhile, our 7-day forecast looks like this. We don't have much humidity in the forecast, really, and then temperatures slightly above.
Thanks very much, Kevin. Yeah, that's a Mynarski Lancaster bomber. And of course, Mynarski went down in one of those aircrafts and died, unfortunately, in the crash of that aircraft. But that was in tribute to Mynarski, and beautiful Lancaster bomber with beautiful Rolls-Royce Merlin engines that drive that thing. It's just a beautiful thing.
Oh, look at you. Yeah.
It's lovely.
No, it is. It's fascinating stuff to watch on any day as it is, but especially today. And of course, for us in the weather community, it's such a big story because it was really stormy around that time as well. So we'll be talking about that throughout the show as well. Kasia Bodurka with you, along with Tom. He's got your traffic, and I'm in for Emily Vukovic for today. Overnight lows, by the way, this is normal. We're usually at about 13 through the overnight. Nice and comfortable, for sleeping through the overnight. Meanwhile, Tom, he's got your traffic. How are the roads out there? I know we had a couple problems, right, Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah, much better news here. I see that those videos, those pictures of the cars there, and I just think, the benefits of working really early in the morning. Okay, so we've got high pressure in place for your Saturday. For Sunday, however, we do have a little cloud cover creeping in, but it shouldn't impede on our weather story for some time. A slight risk of some showers. More on that. Hi, good morning. Kasia Bodurka with you here. June 6th, a very important day. Actually, today marks the 70th anniversary of D-Day. We're talking about that throughout the show because there's such an important weather story with this. Actually, Kevin Yard, he's live at the Canadian Warplane Museum in Hamilton. We'll be checking in with him very shortly. But first, a weather map from D-Day. There was low pressure in the area, and they actually had to postpone the battle by 1 day because of the weather. So it was supposed to actually happen on June 5th. Now here's a special feature about that day. What a story. All right, we actually have a number of stories on our website, so check that, theweathernetwork.com. Meanwhile, the weather story is just incredible for us in Toronto. The next few days look like this, with the weekend looking pretty amazing. Temperatures nice and comfortable, slightly above seasonal, and the same thing goes for you if you are heading to cottage country. And our friend Tom with your traffic is going there himself. Tom?
Can you give us the hot gen for the rest of the week?
We'll let Kasia do that. Okay, back inside. Kasia, do you got the hot jet on the forecast?
It's a pretty hot forecast. It's not a bad forecast, actually. Thanks.
An appropriate aircraft, that B-25 Liberator. That was a part of the liberation of France, of course, and the Nazis.
Unbelievable stuff. And as Tom is watching all this video, he's naming off all the planes. And I said, you really know your aircraft. Well, I'm a pilot, he said.
Well,
really?
I like airplanes.
Yeah.
Sure.
So you're really watching that weather. All right, let's talk about that weather of ours. Current conditions are looking pretty. Just going to be quite nice for you tomorrow as well, and I have those details coming up. But first, what about the roads? Because I know they're building up. There have been a lot of problems. Tom, what's going on?
Well, you've got good news.
I know. I came here on the right day because I'm the bearer of great news. We do have high pressure in place today into your Saturday as well. But you will notice that we are sandwiched between two systems here. And because of that, we're going to have more cloudy conditions on your Sunday and a slight chance of seeing some showers along that cold front. Your 7-day forecast looks like this for the city of Toronto. By the way, if you're going to cottage country, it looks great up there as well. But so much going on around the city. We've got Luminato Fest kicking off today and going all through the weekend. So enjoy. Great conditions for that. Yeah, and I've got way better news for you, right? Talking traffic at this time. Yeah, it's got to be tough. High pressure in place today, and that means sunny, clear conditions. Blue skies, kind of like yesterday was, but a little bit warmer. We've got our temps a little bit closer to seasonal, actually a hair above seasonal, daytime highs around 25. 2 low pressure systems, and consider yourself lucky. We all should, really, because that's not going to be affecting us in the lower Great Lakes until quite possibly Sunday evening. We just have a little cloud cover in the forecast then. Just a very slight risk of seeing a shower late day. All in all, the weekend should be pretty amazing, if you ask me. City of Toronto looks like this. Luminato is kicking off today. Great conditions for that this weekend. It's really fascinating.
I'd love
stuff.
to fly that plane.
I know.
It almost makes me cry. It almost makes me cry. I love that plane so much.
And here's the thing. I know you would love to be there right now. You're just watching there with envy.
Just taxiing
So
that aircraft
fascinating.
would be fun.
Yeah, and of course there's a huge weather story involved, and you saw there on the mural that there were all kinds of clouds there, and in the pictures there in Force of Nature, it was a really stormy day. Just the day before, they had to push back, actually postpone the battle because of the really stormy weather, and we have more about that coming up throughout the show. But let's talk about the incredible day it is today, if I may say so. Tomorrow morning, also very sunny conditions, so it should be good. Now, if you are going to any of these events that I had mentioned, at the David Pico Square, by the way, they're actually turning this area into a mock beach right in the downtown core of Toronto. But first, we actually have to get there. Tom, how are the roads right now? That's right, and it's way better than that slow drive, which is my life story these days. All right, high pressure. You'll need the sunglasses if you're stuck on the roads because we've got plenty of sunshine on tap for today. 2 low pressure systems, one to the north, one to the south throughout the weekend, but they should not be affecting us. Maybe some cloudy conditions Sunday. Hard to imagine, actually. My grandparents, they fought in the war. They experienced it all. The stories are just unbelievable. Scary, sad, inspiring, all at once.
Yeah, there were some great stories that came of the war, of course. Great friendships made. Both my dad and uncle were, one was in the infantry, my dad was in the Air Force, so it was an interesting time.
There you go. And there's a huge weather story behind that as well, and that's coming up throughout the show. But let's talk about your current temperatures or what we're looking forward to for today. But what about the road conditions? We just have a few more seconds. Tom, what's going on?
Well,
Kevin, we've been learning so much from him today, and of course, talking about that fascinating weather story. You've been loving the planes.
oh my gosh, that is such a great museum of some of the finest aircraft ever been built.
Sure, and the aircraft that actually was there present in the battle. We also have the HMCS Haida that's in Hamilton as well,
Yes.
a ship that took part as well. So really interesting stuff that we have right here at home.
And thankful to all of our troops, too.
Yeah, meanwhile here at home, amazing weather, really, if you don't mind me saying. These conditions, he's going to have 24 degrees, sun and clouds. Yeah, but I'll be here in the city, which is fine, enjoying it as well. They're actually turning the downtown core, the David Pico Square, into a faux beach for Luminato Fest, which is kicking off today. Tom, we got to get there, though. What's it like out there?
Yeah, Luminato.
It really does, Tom, and like one of my favorite 80s bands, they actually escape me now, the name. Everybody's working for the weekend, and this is the kind of weekend we have ahead. Sunshine on Saturday, high pressure. Really, not a lot of clouds in the sky, except the clouds they will be building on your Sunday because of an area of low pressure to the north. We do have a slight risk, a 30% risk of seeing some showers on Sunday. And Tom, the weekend forecast looks amazing. The interesting thing is that we have 2 areas of low pressure merging or actually making their way close to our area. We're sandwiched between these low pressure centers, but we're actually not going to be affected by a whole lot. The only risk is that we're going to be seeing some cloud cover on your Sunday, a slight risk of seeing some showers late day in the GTA and the lower Great Lakes on Sunday and into cottage country as well. But meanwhile, other places, they will get the rain. So we're lucky. Consider ourselves lucky. Lots going on around the city of Toronto. We've got Luminato going on. It's kicking off today and a great weekend for that. Just a little bit of humidity to deal with. And here's Hamilton.
Together aloft, well, then it has nowhere to go. It can't go up because that's space, so it has to go down. So it sinks, and when it sinks, it actually warms, as opposed to low pressure where air is converging at the surface and we have rising air, and that means that temperatures are cooling with height. We get condensation, we get clouds, and then often we get stormy conditions as opposed to clear conditions in high pressure.
And high pressure is what we're going to be enjoying for the next 24 to 48 hours. Kasia Bodurka with you here. I'm in for Emily Vukovic. And we've got Kevin Yard. He is live at the Canadian Warplane Heritage Museum. It's really interesting because today is actually the 70th anniversary of D-Day. A huge weather story behind that. That coming up. But Kevin, you are like a little boy enjoying the planes around you. And we're learning so much from you today.
D-Day.
All right, thanks to Kevin for that. Meanwhile, we've got beautiful conditions on tap with a lot going on this weekend. Have a look at your 7-day forecast, and now we've got the top 5 costliest weather disasters. Thanks to Chris for that. Meanwhile, it was a huge day in history. 70th anniversary of D-Day. We're marking that today. And Kevin Yard, he is live at the Canadian Warplane Heritage Museum right now, checking out some really fascinating planes and talking about your weather story right now. Kevin? All right, always a good, quirky time there with Kim McDonald around the world and now here at home, right? Let's focus our attention to your weather story in the Toronto area and southern Ontario, actually looking to be gorgeous today. We've got hanging on for the rest of the day. Now, Sunday, there's a risk of seeing some showers late day, a little more cloud cover on Sunday. But let's talk about that temperature story. That's what we're showing you here with this map, where you're seeing the deeper oranges. That means you've got your really warm temperatures, temps in the mid-20s, and then overnight lows in the yellow that you had seen were right around where they should be at this time of year. So we've got 12, 13 degrees through the overnight. So nice and comfortable. You can open your window and just, sleep comfortably. Temperature daytime highs are just right around where they should be, actually, maybe slightly above seasonal. Low pressure to the north, low pressure to the south. We're sandwiched between high pressure and sunny skies. No hail in the forecast here. We've got nothing but sunny skies for the next 24 to 48 hours even. Kasia Bodurka with you here. I'm in for Emily Vukovic and our very own Kevin Yard. He's been enjoying his day so far at the Canadian Warplane Museum commemorating D-Day, the 70th anniversary. Kevin?
To the studio.
All right, thanks to Kevin for that. Fascinating images there. And we have got an incredible weather story to tell you. You're going to love this forecast for this weekend. We've got nothing but high pressure, at least for today and tomorrow. But then this low pressure to the north, that's just going to be bringing us some cloudy conditions on Sunday. Sunday's an interesting forecast because yesterday we were looking at the models. They were saying there was a risk of a thunder shower, but for now, it looks like we should be fine, and there is a risk of seeing some, light showers into the afternoon. So the next 7 days look like this for the city of Toronto. A very similar forecast for you into Hamilton and Oshawa. Up north, it's a great forecast as well. If you're going to up to the cottage, it's going to be beautiful. Enjoy. And there were stormy conditions around that time, so a big weather story there too. We'll get to that coming up. But in the meantime, Kevin Yard, he's at the Canadian Warplane Heritage Museum, and he's actually showing us planes that took part in D-Day, Kevin. So fascinating.
This weekend.
Okay, back inside to the studio. There's the hot gen.
Except you do get that information for this weekend, and the information is pretty great if you ask me. High pressure in place. We've got low to the north, to the south as well of us. But you know what? We're not going to be affected by a whole lot. We've got sunny conditions and warm temperatures. It's the 70th anniversary of D-Day, and so many people are talking about that on Twitter, and there's a big weather story involved as well. Mark in Oshawa, he says, weather forecasts were crucial since they couldn't land tanks and men in the middle of a storm. He's right. The Weather Office in the UK actually tweeted out a picture of the original drawings, the original sketch of the weather systems that were happening there. You could see there was a giant area of low pressure, lots of markings here. Big storm, and in fact, the battle was postponed by a day because of this storm. And then finally, Chief Larkin says, lest we forget, thank you for your sacrifices.
Visit our to clear conditions and high pressure.
And high pressure is what we're going to be enjoying for the next 24 to 48 hours. Kasia Bodurka with you here. I'm in for Emily Vukovic. It's the 70th anniversary of D-Day, and so many people are talking about that on Twitter, and there's a big weather story involved as well. Mark in Oshawa, he says, weather forecasts were crucial since they couldn't land tanks and men in the middle of a storm. He's right. The Weather Office in the UK actually tweeted out a picture of the original drawings, the original sketch of the weather systems that were happening there. You could see there was a giant area of low pressure, lots of markings here. Big storm, and in fact, the battle was postponed by a day because of this storm. And then finally, Chief Larkin says, lest we forget, thank you for your sacrifices.
Visit our